When did you realize your child was being bullied by their teacher? My son Oliver was always excited about second grade until Mrs. Hartley became his teacher. At first, the changes were subtle. He stopped talking about school at dinner, started having stomach aches every Sunday night, said he didn't want to wear his dinosaur shirt anymore because it was babyish. Then came parent-teacher conferences in October. Mrs. Hartley sat across from me with this tight smile, tapping her pen against Oliver's file. Oliver is very slow, she said bluntly. He takes forever to complete assignments. The other children are reading chapter books while he's still on picture books. He's working with a reading specialist, I said. His dyslexia diagnosis. I've taught for 20 years. I know when a child is lazy versus learning disabled. Oliver just doesn't apply himself. I left feeling uneasy but doubting myself. Maybe I was being too soft on him. The real signs started in November. Oliver came home with his homework folder covered in red marks, not corrections, comments. This is messy. Try harder. Disappointing. Written aggressively across his 7-year-old attempts. One day, he forgot his lunch money. When I brought it to the office, I decided to peek into his classroom. Through the door window, I saw Mrs. Hartley holding up Oliver's worksheet to the class. This is what happens when we don't pay attention, she said loudly. Can anyone tell Oliver what he did wrong? Oliver sat at his desk, face bright red, staring at his lap while other kids pointed out his mistakes. Some were giggling. Mrs. Hartley was smiling like this was a teaching moment. That night, Oliver wet the bed for the first time in 3 years. The breaking point came in December. Oliver brought home a math test with 62% circled in red, but when I checked his answers, many marked wrong were actually correct. She'd taken points off for showing work incorrectly, even though he'd gotten the right answers. I emailed asking for clarification. She responded that Oliver needed to follow her specific method, not the one his tutor taught him. Consistency is key for struggling students. Then Ella's mom called me. Ella sat next to Oliver and had been coming home upset. She told her mom that Mrs. Hartley made Oliver sit at the practice desk during fun activities, a separate desk at the back where kids had to redo work while others did art. She calls him out constantly, Ella's mom said, asks him questions she knows he can't answer quickly, then sighs really loudly when he struggles. I started documenting everything. Every paper with harsh comments, every story Oliver told, every tear at homework time when he'd say, I'm too stupid. Mrs. Hartley says I need to work harder. My bright, curious boy was disappearing. He stopped reading his dinosaur books, stopped asking why about everything, started saying I can't before even trying. I requested a meeting with Mrs. Hartley and the principal, brought my documentation folder. Mrs. Hartley denied everything, said Oliver was oversensitive and I was helicopter parenting. The principal suggested Oliver might benefit from building resilience. That night, Oliver broke down completely. Mrs. Hartley hates me, he sobbed. She told Jaden I probably won't make it to 3rd grade. Everyone heard. I pulled him out the next day, homeschooled for the rest of the year while fighting with a district for a transfer. Other parents started coming forward. Their kids had witnessed the treatment. Some had experienced it themselves in previous years. Mrs. Hartley had a pattern. She picked 1 or 2 weak kids each year and made them examples. Administration knew but did nothing because her other students had high test scores. Oliver's in 4th grade now at a different school. His new teacher sends home smiley faces and encouraging notes. He's reading at grade level with his accommodations, but he still asks sometimes, am I being too slow when he's working on homework? Last week, I ran into Mrs. Hartley at the grocery store. She smiled that same tight smile and said, how's Oliver doing? I always knew he had potential if someone could just motivate him properly. It took everything in me not to tell her exactly what she'd done. Instead, I said, he's thriving now that he has a teacher who actually teaches instead of terrorizes. Her smile dropped. She knew exactly what I meant. Some teachers inspire, others leave scars that take years to heal. Mrs. Hartley was the kind who enjoyed her power over small, vulnerable humans who couldn't fight back, and she'd picked my son as her target.